Hi, my name is Peter Brash with Brash Acupuncture. Today I'm going to teach you in this video the full Daoyin Qigong. This was a Qigong form that was taught to me by a teacher of mine named Paul Fraser. It is a Qigong form that's all about nourishing yin, nourishing the quiet, stillness, receptive abilities of our nature, which is usually so stressed out and lost. Most of the people I see in my practice are what we'd call yin deficient, that they are go, go, go all the time. They never have time for stillness and quiet, and that is sort of undermining their energy and wellness overall. And so this is something we can do to help nourish this for 20, 28 minutes a day. Longer if you want, but you could easily do it in that little, and you'll find that it's a great something you can do for yourself to nourish that yin element of our being. What one of my teachers would say is we are human beings, not human doings. And yang, what we usually are doing, being out there and active, is all about doing, and yin is all about being. Okay, so I'm going to teach you, there's 8 poses and a starting pose. So the starting pose is a pose named Wu Qi, which is the energy of the universe when it was unformed. For those of you that that are big into the Bible and Genesis, it's the Chinese Taoist equivalent of tohu vavohu, void and unformed, is one of the translations of the universe at the beginning. So to start with, you'll notice this is a pose that we come back to with sort of the reset positions that we often hit in between the other poses. So we start in Wu Qi and take 6 nice, deep, gentle breaths. You've got your hands over your feet. Your arms are bent, not straight. Your knees are bent gently. Your feet are just more than hip width apart, and your tailbone is gently tucked under. This is sort of the position to allow qi to flow as freely as it can. Okay, so once you've taken your 6 breaths, then we're going to do the first pose, which is gathering the qi from heaven and earth. In Chinese cosmology, there are sort of 3 elements. There's heaven, there is earth, and there is humanity as the bridge between the two. So here we are sort of putting ourselves within that sort of macro cosmology of the universe. And we breathe in, gathering the qi from heaven, and we breathe out, bringing it down to earth, and ending in Wu Qi. And we do this 6 times. Breathe in, breathe out. 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 I don't count so well, but I think that was 6. Hopefully it is. With this Qigong form, as I was taught it, you do the forms in units of 6. So you can do 6 or 12 or some multiples thereof and do the entire thing. Okay. One other thing before we go to pose number 2 is that you'll notice that I try to move nice and slow, just like people in the park doing Tai Chi really nicely. The way it was explained to me is you're supposed to move like you're surrounded by water. So what that means is there's no extra credit for going fast. You shouldn't do that. There's extra credit for going slow. All right, so the second pose is one of 2 poses that are sort of have a right side and a left side. So here for this one we are energizing the Ren meridian, the conception vessel. It's a meridian that starts the perineal floor and goes all the way up to here. It is the mother of all yin. So what we're doing is we are nourishing sort of the foundation, the source of yin. All right. We start with one hand right above the 3rd eye, right here, and we trace down that meridian to about here, the dantian. The dantian is sort of like our energetic center of gravity. It's right below between a point called the Sea of Qi and a point in the back called the Gates of Destiny. Ming Men. All right, so the right side will come down, tracing its way down, and the left side will come up and will end right here, ready to start what the other side just did. There's no particular breathing with this, but definitely do continue breathing. Breathing's good. Holding your breath during Qigong is not helpful at all. Let me see. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, and the other thing is, you'll notice, so you want your hands to be about 2 inches off the meridian, off the body. Not too close, not too far. You can play with that some. The good thing about this form, it's very gentle, it's very forgiving. You can't mess anything up badly. So just with anything, if you have questions, play with it and see what you notice that works best for you. And if you have any questions, you can always email me, message me on Facebook, whatever works for you. Give me a call, text, happy to answer any questions. Okay, so let me do this a couple times. Ending in Wu Qi, once again doing 6 cycles of 2 or 12, you remember. Okay, so the next one we go to is similar in that it's 2-sided, and we've gone from establishing our place energetically in the universe to energizing the source of yin to now we're going to focus on the heart. So it's called leading the Qi to the palace. The heart protector meridian starts right here, goes up down the center line of sort of the underside of the hand, the belly of the arm, out to about here where there's a point called the Palace of Weariness, which one of my teachers said should really be called the Palace for Weariness. It doesn't make you weary, it helps you when you're weary. So like the other one, we do one side and then we do the other. Now, speaking of these points here, the Palace of Weariness, there's also one associated with the heart called I think the Lesser Palace. These are very strong energetic points, and you'll notice in Qigong a lot of what we're doing is we're using the palm, and those sort of Qi emitting points on the palm are sort of like one end of a magnet. And in the same way we might use herbs or acupuncture needles to contact and move and balance energy in the meridians, that's what we're doing here. And the palm is sort of our needle in a way, our magnet that's helping sort of contact the energy and balance it out. So, like the last one, there's no particular breathing, but do breathe. You'll notice there's a nice little pivot of the legs and the arms and the torso, and each pose leaves you where you can just flip over your hands and you're just about in starting position for the next. And then you end in Wu Qi. Alright, so the next couple of poses, you start in a different starting position, one called horse stance, where you widen your feet to about 1.5 times hip width. You deepen your bend in your knees. You keep that hip tucked in. And it's a little challenging. There's a lot of demand here, and it can feel demanding on the knees. If you have knee issues, knee injuries, take extra care of your knees, back up if you need to. Worst comes to worst, go back to the normal hip width stance, but be gentle with yourself. Don't push it. So we start in what's called Master Jin's position, which you have one hand at about the dantian here, and another hand just below where the ribs come together, the xiphoid process. and then you take 6 nice, gentle breaths. Okay, and now staying in this horse stance is the next position where we're spreading the chi evenly over the abdomen. We're sort of balancing out the digestive system and the organs of the belly. So we start with breathe in, we come up, we breathe out, we go down. And we do this 6 times in each direction. There's a concern that I've heard sometimes is if you do too much in one direction, not the other, you can sort of upset the bowels a little, get a little diarrhea or constipation. So make sure you do the same number clockwise as counterclockwise. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. All right, so now we're going to do our third and final pose that's in horse stance. Now if your knees are bothering you a little, if you can, especially when you're first starting to do this, take a little bit of break, stretch them out, come back. You won't be throwing off the balance of the universe.
Mom, I need a horse.
So this next one is a really cool pose called Iron Shirt, and it comes from it's okay, Eliu. It comes from the Shaolin monks in their martial tradition, and it's about building up the Wei Qi. So the Wei Qi is the defensive Qi. And in the case of the Shaolin monks, they're literally building up their ability to take a blow from an enemy. In our case, where we're most often using it, is it's the same energy that builds up our immune defenses or balances out the immune system. So that's a really useful way to use that, especially in our current situation with COVID-19. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. And I'm not sure if you all notice, a lot of people tell me, I notice a lot, there's a real strength and solidity in the feeling of this pose. And sometimes if I feel like somebody just coughed all over me or feeling a little bit off balance, I'll often go and just do 6 or 12 of these all by themselves, and you can do that. If you're about to go into a crowded room and you're afraid that people are coughing all over the place, or go on an airplane, do it before you get to the airport, because people might look at you kind of funny, but otherwise you can do it. So now, we come up into our normal Wu Qi position. This is the second to last pose. And Wei Qi, the Iron Shirt, it's a little bit more active, it's a little bit more yang. And then this is a quite yang position. So there's sort of like the counterbalance, the white dot of yang within the black yin in the Tao symbol. So this one is a little challenging. You'll get the hang of it. It's not impossible. At first it may feel kind of awkward, so just stick with it. And if you have any questions, give me a call. So you might even see me lose my balance and fall over. We'll see. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, this pose, I should have mentioned, is called spreading the chi to the fingers and the toes. And the idea is that now that we've cultivated yin, starting from the universe, then the Ren channel, then the heart, then the belly. So we've brought so much in so nicely, and we've created this nice sort of yin pillar that we're sitting in, making sure that the energy will continue to circulate, that it doesn't become too yin, and continues to circulate throughout the extremities. So I'll do it a couple more times. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Breathe in, cross the arms. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now that we've gotten to the last pose, we're going to return to a more yin position that's reminiscent of the first pose. It's called gathering the chi to the dantian, or restoring, I can't remember exactly, returning the chi to the dantian. So we breathe in, gathering up all that chi that we've spread out, and bring it back down, and then end in wu chi. 6 times. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And then you finish off in the Wu Chi position, doing a couple of breaths. And then when you end, this is important, you do a little bit of something to ground yourself. You rub your hands together, and then you can rub them vigorously on your legs, on your arms, on your face. And that just sort of grounds the energy, prepares you a little bit to go back in to engage with the world in the normal way now that you've had this nice cultivation of your interior space. So I hope you enjoy this. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on, carrier pigeon, Facebook, whatever works. And I hope this is a tool that you can use to help support yourself, whether it's current day's challenges or anything else that you're needing to support you by nourishing the yin side of your being.